Hey guys, Marissa at KitchenTableStamper.com. Got this note card for you today. This is part of Paper and Ink Cards. Paper and Ink Cards is in my Chicago area home studio every fourth Monday, unless it's a holiday, and all adult crafters are welcome. If you live in the Chicago area and you want to learn more about paper and ink cards, you can email me, Marissa at KitchenTableStamper.com. We're going to make this card here, and it features some of my favorites from the annual catalog that I haven't gotten to play with much yet. So let's start with my handwritten background. Crafting Forever, that's where I got these awesome pens. Woodwords, A Note for You is my sentiment. And of course, if you know me, you know I can't be separated from my Swirly Bird spatter. We're going to use that. Stampin' pads for this card are Memento Tuxedo Black, and Stampin' pad is Real Red. And I've got my Stampin' blends here, Real Red combo, Granny Apple combo, and Flirty Flamingo combo. I'm going to use primarily the dark shade for my coloring. Alright, let me get my Stampin' Pierce mat here, and we'll do some Stampin'. I'm going to protect my Stampin' Pierce mat surface with some scratch paper. And we're going to take this card kit here. Let me tell you about the consumables. I've got a card base that is 8.5 by 5.5 and scored at 4 1/4. I've got 2 Whisper White pieces. One is 5.5 by 2 1/4, and the other one is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. So we're going to start with this bigger one here. Take my Swirly Bird spatter, and I'm just going to kind of spatter across this card here. And I did about 3 times, just flipping as I go, all the way from one side to the other. Then A Note for You greeting, we're going to ink that up in Tuxedo Black and stamp that across the bottom of the card. Pretty simple. Now slide that aside. Got another piece of Whisper White here. I'm going to ink up my pens. Background stamp was behind my Stampin' Pierce mat, making it not a very flat surface to stamp on. Alright, and I'll stamp these dudes. Look good. Next up, we want to do our background, so we can get rid of the Stampin' Pierce mat, bring in our background. And you want to make sure at this point, you want to make sure that you've got everything upright, that your words read the right way, and that they read left to right. Then you know you got it the right way for your card front. We're going to ink that up with Real Red. And take the card. This is the way it opens, right? Front of the card. We want to flip the front of the card onto the background. And then we'll press it down. Got that piece of scratch paper on the block with the spatter, and we're just going to put pressure on the card and get the impression of that background. Alright, when I think I've got it, then I just kind of rub over with my fingertips. Make sure I don't forget any corners, and make sure that the center is nice and strong. And I'll lift my paper and my card base, and you'll get a perfect background every time. Okay. Let me get rid of the ink pads. Now it's time to do some coloring, and I chose primarily my dark shade of the 3 colors here, and I'm just gonna fill in. And I started out with this little stripey pen and did every 3rd stripe with each of the colors. And I'm just gonna color in, no fancy blending or anything here, I'm just coloring in all 3 of these pens. Alright, so I'm gonna color these all in. There's lots of little bits, lots of little coloring, and then I'll cut back in once they're all colored and cut out. I'm going to fussy cut them with a pair of paper snips. There's no die for this one, but it's very straight cutting. There's not a lot of loops or curves or swirls. It's pretty much straight cut out. So I'll color them in, cut them out, and I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. I've colored my little pens and cut them out. Now I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back. We want to really highlight what we did here. We spent the time fussy cutting them, so let's also pop them and make them really a statement. So I took a dimensional, cut it in half, and then cut it in the half and half, and that gives you a nice piece that's good width for your pens. And I'm putting 3 pieces on the back of each to really support them. All right, one more little snip there. Now we can take our Note for You panel, and we're going to add the panel to the card. Use a flat adhesive. Your snail will do, multi-purpose liquid glue, whatever you like. We're going to do about 1/4 inch from the right edge. Okay, my bits of dimensional adhesive are all sticky, and I'm going to start with my center pen, this little fountain tip one. I'm going to center it about 1/4 inch above the greeting, and then I'm going to pop on my other 2 pens using that center one to gauge. All right, I'm happy with those. We'll burnish them. And there it is. Check it out. A Note for You. I love this card. All right, if you've got any questions about Stampin' Up, about Chicago area classes, about this project, email me, Marisa at kitchentablestamper.com. To shop Stampin' Up 24/7, visit marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching.